My name is Olivia. I am 72 years old, and I live alone in a small village house. My husband passed many years ago. My only son, Michael, left home 20 years ago after a terrible fight. He never came back. He never called. He never wrote. Every day I waited. Every Sunday I sat and wrote him a letter. Letters full of love, apology, and longing. But I never sent a single one. I kept them in a small wooden box, tied with silence. A young man, Nathan, worked at the local post office. Every Monday he came to my door, asking, "Any letters today?" Every Monday I smiled, saying, "Not this week." He never pushed, but one day he noticed the wooden box. He saw how full it was. He understood, without a word, that it held something deeply important. One Sunday, I felt weaker than usual. My body was tired, my heart heavy. Still, I sat down and wrote my letter. But this time, something was different. I wrote Michael's old address, memorized for 20 years. I placed the envelope on the table, looked at it, and whispered, "Maybe it's time." The next morning, Nathan knocked. My hands shaking, I held out an envelope, quietly asking, "Can you send this, dear?" Nathan looked at the name Michael, then at me. But I had already turned, walking slowly back to my chair. He stepped outside, stared at the letter, understanding this moment mattered more than I had let on. At the post office, he wrote a small note. "Please deliver if this person still lives here." Then he paid for faster delivery. Far away in a busy city, Michael lived alone in a small apartment. He worked in a repair shop. His heart carried old pain, guilt, regret, and the belief his mother had forgotten him, or was still angry. He had told himself it was better to stay away. He had told himself so many times that he had almost believed it. One evening, he came home and found a plain envelope on his table. No return address, just his old address. His fingers trembled as he opened it. The letter began with two simple words, "Dear Michael," and his hands froze. The letter was short, but every sentence was filled with a love so quiet and so patient it broke something open inside him. I told him I was sorry. I told him I had never stopped missing him. My heart never stopped waiting for you. Michael pressed the letter against his chest and cried deeply, like someone holding their breath for 20 years. He did not sleep that night. He read the letter again and again. By morning, his mind was clear. He packed a small bag, told no one, and took the first bus back to the village. His heart raced the entire journey. He kept asking himself, will she still be there? Will she open the door? When he finally reached the village, he stood outside the house for a long time. The garden looked the same, the windows, the old wooden door. Nothing had changed. He raised his hand to knock, then stopped. What if he was too late? What if she didn't want to see him? But then he remembered my words. Slowly, he knocked. There was no answer. He knocked again. The door opened, but it was Nathan standing there, looking surprised. "I'm Michael," he said. "I got a letter from Olivia." Nathan's expression shifted. He opened the door wider and said quietly, "Come in, she's inside, but she's not well." Nathan led him to the bedroom. I was lying in bed, my eyes closed, my breathing slow. Nathan touched my hand gently. I opened my eyes, turned my head, and saw him standing there. "Michael," I whispered. He rushed to my side, took my hand, and wept. "It's me, Mother. I came. I got your letter." Tears rolled down my face. "You came back," I said. "I waited so long." He nodded, his voice breaking. "I'm sorry, Mother. I was foolish. Please forgive me." I smiled and shook my head. "You came. That is enough." We sat together without words for a long time. Nothing left to explain, only the warmth of hands held together. Michael stayed by my side through the night. At dawn, I looked at him and said, "You must be exhausted." He shook his head slowly. "I've been exhausted for 20 years, Mother, but tonight I can finally rest." Over the following days, my health began to improve. Michael cleaned the house, cooked meals, and walked beside me. He told me about his lonely years in the city. I listened without judgment. We both cried, and we both began to heal. One Sunday, I called for my pen. Michael raised an eyebrow and smiled. "Writing again?" I nodded. "One last time." I wrote him a final letter, short and simple. "Dear Michael, you came back. That is all I ever wanted. My Sundays no longer need letters. You are here. You are my home. My heart is full. Thank you, my son." I folded it and held it out to him. "This one is yours. Keep it." He took it without a word, pressed it gently to his heart. Michael found work in the village and never left again. Nathan became a close friend, almost like family. We shared meals, laughter, and quiet evenings together. I lived for 2 more peaceful, happy years. And when I finally closed my eyes for the last time, Michael was holding my hand. After the funeral, he gathered every letter from the wooden box and placed them in a new one. On the lid, he wrote 3 words, "Letters of Love." Every Sunday, he would sit down, open one letter, and read it slowly. He cried, but he never felt alone. Years passed. Michael married and had a daughter. He named her Olivia. And every Sunday he sat with her and told her stories about an old woman, a box full of unsent letters, and a love so patient, so enduring, that it waited 20 years and still never gave up.